This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at XP Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Let's get into it. Check out the live market chat if you have a chance. Great conversation. I actually talked about a lot of things, talked about what should happen, what we think is going to happen, and kind of did happen. Said be on the lookout for a down 1 to 2% day this week. Seems it was Tuesday, turnaround Tuesday, as we always said. And yeah, keep an eye on Monday. Don't really do too much. Watch for Tuesday. Congratulations. Hopefully there's some amazing trades. Love to hear about it. Let me know. Leave a comment below if you did something. At this point, again, let's get into just what we expect right now. The debt ceiling conversation, I don't think either side really wants to budge. I think they're going to try to leverage time to make the other side do something they don't want to. So we will probably be in this limbo till middle of, I guess it's next week, the end of the month. Just be aware. Be prepared to sell options against puts, calls, whatever you need to. Then you have NVDA and earnings Wednesday after the close going into Thursday morning. Not too much economic data until the Fed minutes, I guess tomorrow afternoon, and then GDP for Thursday, coming in expecting 1.1%, slowing from 4% previously, or 3 or whatever the heck percentage was. Either way, long story short, it's going to be volatile. It's going to be choppy. I think we may have the top in. We talked about the OPEX top. Remember tops during OPEX? Tuesday following usually a retest of something or a chop and then flop. Well, so far, the sequencing of repeating occurrences, events is happening. So, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. Please follow, like, subscribe, Twitter, and on YouTube. Continuously posting what we think is important. Hopefully, a lot of people was paying attention. We talked about today, like, what's going on. You got debt limits. Again, they gave up a couple hours ago. What would the market do? Dropped. Data getting worse, quick. Markets are doing what they're going to do. Just, I don't know. Just follow on Twitter if you'd like. Again, posting what I think is most important. Or, again, if you want to join the Discord room, links in the description below. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube because you get the live notifications. Like for today's example, if you subscribe, you got the notification that we're doing a live chat. Again, check it out. If you're newer to trading, trying to learn, again, tradingagent.com or the Back to Basics series on YouTube. It's the same stuff, but on here I have it lined up from most for beginning to more advanced levels of things. So that's a good place to start. And again, if you haven't used Marcus by Goldman's, again, 5.15% high yield saving for 3 months, 4.15 after that. They have great products. The app is amazing. Goldman's not going out of business. Buffett's investing. I don't see any risk. And again, if you don't have your money distributed accordingly to the FDIC insurance capabilities, you better take advantage of it. Again, I like Marcus. It's a good place to park your money, 5.15 for 3% or for 3 months. And then if you use the referral codes and you use it, let me know. I can only use 4 a year. I've already used mine up, so I'm sharing links from other people. So maybe you can get 5.15% for the year. And again, the best thing about Marcus is doing is as rates keep rising, they're competitively trying to keep up. They're passing along the rate increases to their customers, which is amazing. Again, when I first started this, it's 4.5%, 4.75, 4.9, 5.15. I anticipate probably be 6% at some point, which is awesome. Who remembers the 2000s? All right, hit refresh you don't really need to, but it's worth it. Again, pause or a hike is coming. There's no cut. Bitcoin, this is tough. Watch this level. At this point, this is days of just chopping. This is hard. It looks like a head and shoulders top. Again, we talked about the dollar strengthening. So does that affect Bitcoin and gold? It looks like it will. Oil, as we talked about, Middle East is going to be jawboning. They jawbone today about higher prices, refilling the SPR. At worst, again, I think you could chop a little higher, but I think we will have a higher low. When I say higher low, I mean whatever happens in the market economy, they start smashing this stuff. I think oil will have a higher low. Is it the 60s? Is it the 50s? I don't know. Again, either way, I just be careful. Nat gas, leave it alone. Wait till UNG splits, but it does look like it's in this choppy bottom phase. You remember this if you've been paying attention. Dollar, we talked about it strengthening. We talked about it bottoming, going higher. So far, so good. TLT, I mean, every mortgage broker thinks rates are going lower. We've talked about it's just been in a big trading range. Personally, I think that when the market's ready to melt, they're going to want people to buy treasuries. That's where people are going to hide because, again, the treasury rate is pretty competitive, especially the short-term stuff. Hence the huge inversion in the yield curve. I mean, there's, again, volatility in the bond and the dollar market or the currency markets are what you need to watch for. Right now, we're in big ranges. If they break out, be aware. VIX, talked about it, bottoming, retesting, nice little bounce here. Not surprised. We talked about it. Ultimately, the VIX needs to get over. Look where it closed. It closed right where it needs to close, but the wick, so it's not really confirming it. Again, I think the VIX of the VIX is showing you that the VIX complacency is ending. It's just a matter of when. You surprised? Again, we talked about the debt ceiling might bring some down. Now, the thing that I think was the biggest surprise was getting into the 420 area because everyone was calling for it and filling the gap. But it feels like, again, this is all very distributive. Like, this is very distributive up here. Pops, distributes. Market makers are funny like that. That's the thing. Time and price corrections, holding things up to distribute. QQQ, blow off top, fills gaps, test old ranges. Again, look at this. There's big volume in this area. And at worst, we're pulling back. Could we go higher? I don't really trust it. Because, again, IWM, get through the data and you tell me. Look at the IWM. Hits the 100, 200-day cross. Look at that candle. That is not pretty. Again, IWM should be at 197, 195 plus. It's so far lagging. It just doesn't look right. DIA, a lot of Dow components have been kind of suspect. Better hold. I mean, we broke the 50-day. Do we get a continuation day? Because that's the key here, right? Is that we get below it and then you come back. Keep an eye on it. Gold. Holding up. Again, we talked about it going down. Well, right now where it's at, could it rise with debt ceiling stuff? Yeah, I still think it's going lower because, again, we're not at the point where the Feds are cutting. They're pausing and raising rates. I've said this. Like, look at all the evidence. Silver, double top, pulling back. GDX, we talked about double top, pulling back. Right? 100-day should hold. GDXJ, which leads. Again, junior miners, highly leveraged metal names, made a lower high and are making lower lows. You got to be careful of that. AG, we talked about going nowhere fast. Been kind of trash. AEM, sideways, going nowhere fast, sadly. Holding the 100-day, worth a watch. Newmont. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, Newmont should have been, it couldn't even get back into the 50s. Mid-50s. Something's wrong here. Again, people say, oh, it's the takeover, but I'm like, no. Miners don't look right. Miners lead. If miners lead and don't look right, very suspect of gold. Typically, that's all I would say. AM Dizzle, look at this candle, blows over, long wick tops. Keep an eye on it again because I think tech is about to get rolled. Micron blows off and then has the China data information. Look at this. Fills the gap to a T. Closes near the lows. Not bullish, right? Taiwan Semi, we talked about hitting the low 92, 93 area. Hits it, backing off. Looks suspect. Intel. This one's been crap ever since it hit the trend line. Chopping, going nowhere. Now you got NVIDIA going into earnings. Man, this thing has not. Someone was like, hey, it made a nice run into earnings. It's made a sprint off the October lows, y'all. Trading at whatever, 300 times future earnings, 30 times sales. Like, that's just crazy. We'll see what happens. Just be careful. SMH, not surprised. What did it do? It hit range, chop zone highs. Starting to back off. This feels like a blow off top. We'll see it confirmed. Adobe. Lower highs. We talked about these names just trading in big channels. That's what's going on here at this point. Apple. Now this feels like, again, the novice gap trap that we said is going to take days. Watch the 20-day. Watch the 171, 170 area. Because this is the novice gap trap, in my opinion, where the top novices get in and then the pros are shorting or selling. Again, a novice gap is a gap at an inflection area. And sometimes it doesn't inflect immediately. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days. 2 weeks. That can happen. Keep an eye on the 170 level. Amazon. Again, even all the trash, even Amazon popped up. Hits the 0.618. Tries to fill the gap. CRM, which I think is the better company, but still, I mean, popping over the 200 level and giving it all back. These all traps? Guggenheim, again, AI is here to stay. Google, again, what's scary is the Google trends of Googling it is showing that AI is at bubble paradoxes or territory for search Again, AI is the future, agreed, but the stocks have priced them in, and it's going to be free. 90% of AI is going to be free. It's like AskJeeves.com. When that first came out, everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. That's what AI is at this moment. Yes, it's going to take some jobs. Yes, it's going to help out businesses, but in general, I mean, it's pricing in pretty quickly. Meta, 150 or 250. Scott, hit that. Another long wick on the pop. Keep an eye on it. Microsoft, disgustingly broken out. That is an outside reversal candle. New high, lower lows. Not so good. NDAQ, again, we've talked about them lagging significantly. Here it is. Lag, lag, lag. MicroStrategy. Said watch the 300 level of Bitcoin. Look at it. Hit it right on the freaking T. Backing off. Netflix. Double top in the 370s. You're welcome. Looking like it's going to slope down. Roblox. Whole lot of nothing, nowhere. Going sideways. Keep an eye on it. Tesla. Nice trade today. Ready, set, sell. Hit the trend line. Back off. You got to love the doji with volume at the highs. Again, 6 straight days or whatever up and then turns around. I love it. Especially if you're a bear. I mean, again, the evidence is showing, looking like things are going to pull back. X, again, materials named. People are like, oh, it's, like this market, if you had to be long. And it's like, well, look at some of these names. They haven't gone anywhere. Materials, lacking. Nucor. Range lows, about to break. Keep an eye on it. Caterpillar, meow. Chopping, we talked about the 50 200 day cross. Now it's backing off. Keep an eye on it. VALE. Talked about this lagging. Is this a professional gap to head lower? I mean, these are things you don't see if the economies are strong and everything's great. We like these names, but on pullbacks, let them come on. Arrow, copper. We talked about them with their earnings, been holding up better. We talked about, you drop real quick, you probably get a bounce. Well, look what it can't get through the gap. Looks like it's going lower. CCJ, all over the place. Not surprised. Personally think, again, like everything else in the materials sector, it's going to get dumped with the market. They throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? We talked about like SCCO, like Southern Copper. Look at this thing. Taking out the lows. Better hold 66, 66. Wow. Freeport, again, another material conglomerate chopping at the range lows. Doesn't look that good. CF, here we go. Ag names. They've been stuck in the mud. Chopping. We talked about them, oversold bounces, but just leave them alone. Mosaic, same thing. Just chop, 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 chop. I mean, again, I love these names because people got to eat. But I'm waiting for the pullbacks. NTR, we talked about this being a potential capitulation, but doesn't have to go anywhere. Tough. Big volume down here. It makes sense. But does it have to go anywhere? AA, we've talked about, aluminum should be doing better, but look what it's doing. Just flatlining. Looks dead. Financials, right? XLF. We talked about watching the 32s, 33s. Here we go. Bounce and flop. JP Morgan. I love it. Love it if you got this short. Love it. Nice pop yesterday. Outside reversal engulfing bar. Closes at the low of the day. Continuation. Bearish. Morgan Stanley, which this has been at the lows. Chopping. Looks like junk. Goldman Sachs. Chopping around. Tough to say. Again, I like them longer term holding up, but again, baby out with the bathwater. I mean, it doesn't really, again, they all look kind of sketch. All right, who's been watching the most recent recaps and reviews? What did we say? I said watch the 41-42 area. Look at this on the KRE. Are you surprised it didn't bounce? We talked about it. Again, please leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not. Like, this is the kind of stuff we're paying attention to. Look what it did. Hammer hits the 50-day, backs off. Remember, KRE is a big part of, names are a big part of the IWM, right? Look what the IWM did. Big outside reversal candle. XBI, another one. Look at this. Long wick. Tries to break out. Gives it all back. Something doesn't look good. Solar stuff. Talked about this has been lagging. It's going to fall. Gaps over the 20-day again. Closed at the low. I don't know if the 20-day is as important, but I mean, the levels matter. It seems to be lagging. ENPH, we've talked about this. Let this one bounce if you really want to short it. I mean, it was a great short up at the highs, the range highs. Now it's just kind of backtracking. I mean, love to let it, maybe it's the 50-day. That's what I'd be watching. I probably wouldn't do anything, but it might bounce if the market doesn't. Sedge, got this one in the 310s. You got to like now today because we broke below range lows in the mid 290s. Now we're at the 200-day. This looks like lower highs followed by lower lows. If you're short this name, again, trade around it. Be careful. Be thoughtful. There's a trend line coming. That's what I'd be paying attention to. First Solar, hanging on a prayer, y'all. Look at this. Keeps coming down. But today was green. And again, watch this area. I'd watch and again, if it bases here for 2 or 3 days, then goes, nothing wrong with that. I like the way it looks. HYG, we've talked about corporate debt. Something doesn't look right. chopping, lagging hard, lagging. All right, let's end it with oil and gas, right? We talked about oil getting the pump from Middle East, talking about jawboning the oil price. Not much to say. UNG talked about the 6 to 7.5 trade if that's what you want. I personally, again, would wait for this thing to reverse split. It's just acting like complete trash hole. Trash hole, if that's a word. I don't know. Whatever. At this point, just leave it alone, in my opinion. XOP, we talked about this popping up, right? Are you surprised? Are you surprised? I hope not, because we talked about it bouncing, right? Like, are you... Just, come on. Be thoughtful. We talked about these things are lagged. I mean, they've lagged so hard. Just in a big trading range. Just leave them alone. ExxonMobil now, if you shorted this up at the highs, looking good. Now backing off, we talked about the 200-day. Man, look at today's wick. Man, that's hard. Fills the gap, said. Maybe it's the gap. There it is. Maybe it retests the 20-day. Either way, I like the shorts if you got up in here. If you're looking for bounces, I think you can identify the area. That's not rocket science, okay? Keep in mind, be careful. Market's going to do what it's going to do. Oxy, another one. Lag. I'm pretty sure Buffett's buying as much and selling covered calls and then hoping it goes lower, because then he does what? Buys more. PXD holding up pretty well, right? Pretty well. Held the zone, 200 area. Bouncing. That could probably be, it might be all she wrote. EQT, another one we like, right? Just keep an eye on it. I mean, long term, again, all these names, just let them come back. Flex LNG, same thing. Just let it come back. There's not much to do here. Just let it play out. All right, if you got any questions, please reach out. This market has been incredibly tough. I've tried to warn people, like, if you think that trading is always going to be easy and swing trading, day trading, again, it's just not. The market's meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people, and people who just are delusional don't realize, like, the realization is that trading, yes, is hard. Things aren't always going to be. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, your PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.